In today's video, we're going to be looking at this pretty amazing budget-friendly tablet. What I have here is the Tab A9 Plus. This is by the company DOOGEE, which ended up sending me one of these for review and testing. Now this is 11-inch IPS HD tablet with some pretty good specs. Let's start with the unboxing first. Inside the box, we do get the power adapter and the power cable, USB Type-A to USB-C. Then let's put that on the side. Also inside the box, we do get a little bit of paperwork, including the user manual. I gotta say, for a budget-friendly tablet, the design is pretty good. It does have the camera system on the back, and then we have a couple speakers on this side, and then on top, we do have USB-C for charging, SD card expansion up to 2 terabytes. We also have 3.5mm headphone jack, and then here we have power button and the volume controls. Alright, so I just finished setting it up and ended up using it for a bit to get myself accustomed to this. But I did end up leaving it on the default settings so you guys can see how it looks once you do end up setting this up. So this will be the main screen. It does run the Android 15. So it does have the latest Android. And I gotta say, it is a pretty smooth tablet. Now, here is all the apps that come default on this. All the apps are the same except the Asphalt 8. That's the one I ended up getting just now because I wanted to showcase a little bit of gaming. As you guys can see, these are all default Google Android apps. So you have Google Drive, you have Gmail, you have Google Meet, Maps. Basically, all the apps is standard that comes with any Android device, which is a really good thing. For example, if you get device like Samsung, you get a bunch of their apps. You also do end up getting some games, sponsor apps and stuff like that. This is very, very stock. Now, I'm not sure in the future if I'm gonna get any kind of different games with updates. Hopefully not. But as of right now, it's pretty stock. Now, one thing I did notice, it does have the WPS Office. It is a pretty useful app, so I'm glad it's there. Another one that I do see is the FM radio. Now, if you do plug in headphones on here, which they serve as an antenna. So for example, if I open it now, it's not gonna play. Yeah, it's gonna say plug in headphones. So you can end up plugging in any kind of wired headphones on the side and you will be able to listen to the local station. I think that's an amazing feature we don't see on many phones or tablets. As I mentioned earlier, this does have 11-inch display. It is IPS. Resolution is 1280 x 800. On top of that, it does have 90 Hz refresh rate, which should help if you do end up doing some gaming. When it comes to the performance, this does have the Unisoc T7200 octa-core CPU with 4 GB of physical RAM and 16 GB of the virtual RAM. Now, I ended up testing this with multitasking and gaming. When I did end up playing the Asphalt Legends, the gameplay was very smooth. On top of that, the tablet wasn't getting hot. Now, speaking of that multitasking and the virtual RAM, now I do have a few apps open here. I still have the game open, and as you guys can see, I do have probably like 6-7 different things open. Now, so here you're gonna see it does have 2 GB available. That's 2 GB of the physical RAM. Now, my understanding about the virtual RAM is they end up pushing this onto the apps that aren't being used. So for example, right now, if I click on YouTube, everything will be open. And on some budget-friendly tablets, when you do have a lot of apps open, the app needs to reload. On this, you don't need to do that. And let me just show you another example. Let's do Google Play Store. Again, it is open and you can just continue using it as you did previously, even though I did open up this app maybe like 10-15 minutes ago. But again, it's ready and loaded. Battery inside is 8580 milliamp. It should last around, I believe, 6 to 7 hours of video watching, which is pretty solid. Now, one cool thing about this, it does support reverse charging, which you don't see on budget-friendly items. So what reverse charging does is I can end up plugging the USB-C to USB-C and end up charging my earbuds or something like that, smaller items. Now, this tablet does have the 30-megapixel rear-facing camera and the 5-megapixel front-facing camera. I did end up using it for a little bit. It's average quality. It's nothing to brag about, but at the same time, it's not bad at all, especially for the budget range. You can definitely end up video chatting with no issues. Now, here is the rear-facing camera here. So it does have this little pro section here. So let's end up taking a quick little picture here. Quality of the rear-facing camera isn't bad at all, so if you do need to take some pictures and videos, you can easily do that. Now, when you take into consideration this is a tablet and a budget-friendly at that, the camera seems pretty good. Now, as I showed you previously, this tablet does have dual speakers that are located on the bottom. Now, I can't end up playing any music due to the copyright, so I'm just gonna play one of my videos. I'm going to be looking at this pretty fun toy. What I have here is the RC Drift Cybertruck in the 1/24th scale. Now, this one is loaded with features. It does have the 4-wheel drive, it has high-speed remote control, also does have the LED light. And lastly, this tablet does support Face Unlock as well. The Face Unlock setup will not show up during the regular first time setup, so you do need to go into the settings and go device unlock, and then you will find it here and set that up. Overall, my first impression is very positive. Everything about this tablet, it's pretty good. There really wasn't anything that I found that was kind of bad about this tablet. I did end up testing the sound, the cameras, the performance, the display, obviously, and everything works as it should. I mean, this is a very, very solid budget-friendly tablet. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.